So I'm just cutting out some pieces for more guitars later on. I've got Sitka spruce, bandsawed, and book matched. So it's planed on the outsides here, but it's a bandsaw cut in here in the center. I've got them taped together so that I don't lose the book match, right? And a buddy down the street, a neighbor of mine, has a 19-inch drum sander. I'm going to give him a call, run these pieces through, because I find that trying to plane them is risky. The planer, sometimes can tear them, right? Now, it planed fine here, no problem at all, right, with all these pieces, but there have been times when the planer has torn up the sides. Not so bad with quarter sawn stuff, like, this is quarter sawn, as you can see. This has got a really nice straight grain in it, right? Because the grain is coming up and down this way. It's quarter sawn. I don't know if you can appreciate it on the end here, but the planer will cut better when it's quarter sawn. Flat sawn stuff, if you run it through the wrong way, the planer will hook the grain and tear it out. Anyhow, my neighbor has a drum sander. I would love to have a drum sander. I just got to try to figure out how to get it in here. I'm getting, crammed for space as it is, so. But anyhow, there's a little 16-inch one that I'm got my eye on. Supermax, made by Laguna. 16-inch drum sander, open on one end, so you can do, 16-inch wide pieces in one pass, which is perfect for guitars, or up to 32 inches in two passes. You just run it through one way, turn it around, run it through the other, right? Anyhow, that's in the future. But, my buddy's got this 19-inch one, so I'm going to give him a call and run these through his drum sander and thickness it down to, this would be thickness to 2.8 mils, right? Millimeters. And this would be thickness, these sides would be thickness to 2 millimeters. All right? And that is a honking big slab of sapele. You can see how big these trees get, right? This is a quarter sawn piece, okay? And, this is just a beautiful piece of wood and not that expensive, okay, it's expensive as far as if you compare it to building lumber, but in terms of hardwood, it's $11 a board foot, right? So, this makes a beautiful, beautiful instrument. So I got sapele sides over there. This is going to be the back. And I should be able to get, if you're careful with your band sawing, I should be able to get 4 sets out of this. 4 sets, right? I got to cut it off first, 8 inches, right? 8 inches deep. And then when you split it and do the book match, you end up at 16 inches wide. The guitars that I'm building are 15 inches wide at the lower bout. So 8-inch, will give you a little bit of leeway there for, for jointing the edges, gluing up, and and whatnot. So I'm going to cut this down 8 inches wide, and then I'm going to set it up on a planer sled and flatten it, and plane it, get it, nice on both sides, and then run it through the bandsaw. It's like a slice of bread, right? I'll set the blade up. My bandsaw can cut 13 inches, so 8 inches is no problem. So I'll run it down 8 inches, slice it, and if I get a good cut and it stays dead center, I can hopefully run it down to center again, both sides. But now you don't have much room after that. We'll see how it goes. So, just trying to make good use of the wood, right? I've got 3 neck blocks made, okay? Mahogany. I had mahogany scraps there and I glued them up. You can see the glue line there, I think. Yeah, right there, see the glue line? I glued them together and just used up the mahogany. So this is got a 2-degree bevel on the top. This will be the top here, right? 2-degree bevel on the top and a 3-degree bevel on the bottom. I had cut a 10-degree bevel on the first guitar and it was way too much. So measured it afterwards once I sanded it down using the sanding dish, and ended up closer to 3 degrees right here, right? 2 degrees here, 3 degrees there. So I got all those pieces made, and yeah, and tail box, right? Same thing. 2-degree bevel on one end, 3-degree on the other. Anyway, I'm going to tackle this piece of sapele now and see if I can get that dimensioned. Oh, I want to show you this as well. I took some flat sawn sapele lumber that I'm not going to use for building guitars, or well, for the the veneers, and I made kerfing out of it. All right. So I got 14 pieces of kerfing, 3 feet long, and I got it all beveled on the end like that, right? So there's enough here for 3 guitars with a little bit left over, probably 4 guitars, but anyway, for sure 3. All I got to do is run it through the jig that I have for the bandsaw, cut the notches, right? All quarter inch apart. So that's all done. I'm just getting set up to have some material on hand when I do the building. This guitar is still sitting here. I'm letting the lacquer cure, and this will be ready for wet sanding anytime now, actually. So I'll wet sand that, see what kind of a shine I can get in it, and once I got the wet sanding done, I can put the bridge in. Also, I'm thinking about, obviously, I mentioned before, I'm thinking about doing an inlay here, okay? I got an inlay idea up here, maybe something here in the center, right? So, gotta do that. And I'll do that before I put any lacquer on this, of course. Yeah, so that's that guitar. I'm just taking a little break from that while I'm waiting for the lacquer to cure, and I'm just cutting these other pieces. I got wood on hand here, and I just want to get it all, get it all ready. Okay, I got this piece of wood all edged. I edged it with hand plane. Put a nice flat edge here so I can run it on the table saw fence. I'm just going to cut this off 8 inches here now. There's 8 inches wide. So like I say, now when I split that book batch, it'll be 16 inches wide. Glue it down to center. All I got to do now is flatten it on both sides before I do the band side. And then I got this piece, which is, let me see, it's over 6 inches, I'm sure. Yeah, 6 1/4 inches. So this will make, that'll make 2 necks. I'll just split that down the middle, right? It's 3 inches wide each side. And 2 nice quarter sawn sapele guitar necks. So I'm just going to put this over here for now. And come back to it later. There we go. Alright, so turns out that this board is 36 inches long, and then I need about 19.5 inches in length. So say 20 inches in length for the guitar body. So I'm only going to have to be able to use one section of this. I'm going to cut it off now at 20 inches. I'll have 16 inches left over, but that'll be a Bozuki. I'll put that away for Bozuki later on, because Bozuki body might be a little bit shorter, right? So we're all good. guitar. Bozuki, I think. I don't know. Ukulele, mandolin, I don't know. Make something out of it later. I'll put it away for now. Anyway, I'm hoping to get 2 guitar backs out of this, okay? So I'll flatten this here, flatten it there, split it down the middle with the bandsaw, right? Plane the insides again, and then split it again. I only need 2mm thickness, so I'm thinking I'll be okay. Anyway, we'll get to it now and get that accomplished here. So I have this book here called the Bozuki Book. I think that's backwards. But anyway, trust me, it's called the Bozuki Book. And it's got plans for a Bozuki. This is the body size of a Bozuki here. This is a 2/3 scale, all right? So I measured that, and what it translates into is 15¼ inches in length. And I just measured that leftover piece of scrap that I've got, and I'm 16¼ so I've got 1 inch to spare. So here's 2 Bozuki backs. It's perfect, more than wide enough, right? So yeah, I'm gonna do I'm going to do a Bozuki, you know, but anyway, got enough material for 2 in there, 2 backs anyway. Now, because I don't have a jointer wide enough to flatten this, okay, my jointer is 6 inches wide, okay, this is 8 inches. I'm gonna put it on an MDF planer sled, like I've done with the veneers before. And basically I just put this board down and shim it so it doesn't rock. Okay, if you got an unevenness on the undersurface, it'll rock. So I just took these ordinary, you know, door shims. You buy them $5 a bundle down at Home Depot, right? And just put a little shim in there and just got it so it doesn't rock. I've got a glue gun here, and I'm just waiting for this to warm up so that I can glue around the edges here. Just put little dabs of glue around just to hold it in place. Yeah, and that should do the job. I'll run this whole thing then through the planer. The planer is 13 inches wide, so in effect what this does is it makes your planer a jointer. So I'm going to be flattening the upper surface here, okay, when it goes through the planer. Right? And you can see why it's important that it doesn't rock, because if it rocks, you're not going to get a flat surface, right? If it rocks, then part of the surface is going to fall away from the planer knives, and it won't be totally flat. So you flatten this, and then you take it off the planer sled, turn it over, and run it through the planer again, and then you get 2 flat parallel surfaces. And that's important for, you know, for doing the next stage, which is the bandsawing. Okay. Okay, got it all glued up. I ran a bead of just hobby glue, really. I don't think you need anything much stronger. The reason I'm using that is because I can pick it off the MDF afterwards. Otherwise, if I've got gobs of glue on the MDF, it's not going to be useful for anything like this again in the future. So that's not going to move. That's, you don't think? No, it won't move. So I'm going to run this through the planer now. All right, so I have a planer sled ready. Work pieces glued on the top there. This is loud, so. flattened on one side, right? So you can see, pretty nice job there actually. You know, the quarter sawn wood makes so much difference when you're working with it, right? Especially with tools, with machines like that, because if that's flat sawn, you got palisades, right? You don't have the grain coming up and down straight like it is here. You got palisades, and if the knives, the planer knives, there's 3 of them that go around, right? If they hook in the grain, if they're hooking the end of the palisade of grain, rips it right out, unless you're going in the right direction with it, right? But sometimes it's hard to read the grain, and you run it through and ruin it, you know? Anyway, that's that part of it. Okay, I've taken the workpiece off the planer sled. I got a flat side here, right? Now the planer knives are up top, so a planer bed. I'm just going to take the flat side now, put it on the planer bed, and then cut the other side parallel to the bottom. Nice board, flat on both sides, and I also did the edging with a hand plane. It was a hand plane on one side and table saw on the other. But there you go. So we'll get that set up now for the bandsaw and slice it down the middle. Gotta be skinny to do this. Anyway, okay. So I've set up the bandsaw. This is a really nice bandsaw. It's one of the nicest tools that I got here. Although wife tells me all the time that I'm the nicest tool in my shop. Old joke. So I've got this set up so that I'm going to split this piece of wood now right down the center, and I just hope it splits straight. This is a resaw blade, 3 teeth per inch. It's a blade for doing this very kind of work, right? So we'll see how it goes here. Open this. Take your time. Seems to go pretty good. band. I'm hoping I can get another cut here now, but you know, it's iffy. I gotta plane these first to see what I'm left with. Okay, so it's a very fine cut here on this pass. I got this thin. I got 9 millimeters here in thickness, and I only need 2 afterwards, right? So I'll see if the bandsaw will do this. It's a very difficult cut, but I've got it set up as well as I can get it, and we'll see how it goes. Room piece hooked down here, so I'm only going to get one set out of this. Yeah, it's a hard cut to make, but anyway, I'll get one set. That's fine. Just keep planing these until I get down the thickness on one side here. So here's the end result. That 1-inch board, 20 inches long. I got one book match set. Okay, and I planed it down as close as I dare to 1/8 of an inch, which is, you know, 3 1/4 millimeters. It's not quite 1/8 of an inch, but anyway, I've got a little unplaned area right here. I just didn't want to get, you know, too aggressive, because I'll show you what happened to this one when I was planing it. Took the end out. You know, if I used a planing sled, probably it would be better if it was taped down, but you got to be really careful with the planer. So drum sander is the way to go, you know, when you're doing these, or not to try and get too aggressive. I mean, I bandsawed this hoping I'd get 2 sets, but you know, I got 1 set, which is fine. 1 set out of it, 8-inch wide. It's an 8-inch wide, 20-inch long piece of board. So I've got a book matched back. Okay, I think that's book matched. This way. Yeah, that way. I do believe something like that. Okay, so I'm going to bring these to my buddy and I'll give him a call and see if he's got sandpaper for his drum sander. See if he's still got the drum sander. I know he had it a couple of years ago, but I haven't seen him since, you know, COVID hit. So anyway, I'll give him a call.